Hey everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Mike. Today I'll be talking to you a little bit about 5 phrases and or things that the narcissist absolutely hates. Alright? If you like this content, I highly appreciate it. If you liked, comment down below your thoughts and opinions of wisdom. And please subscribe. Thanks in advance. So, let's start off with the word no. Number 1. Numero uno. No means no. Now, that's pretty self-explanatory to the educated, to anyone with a shrivel of common sense, or to an empath, or to an educated empath, etc. But with a narcissist, they either can't take the word no, or they, it's like narcissist repellent right there. They won't take the word no. And what happens when you say the word no to the narcissist? Well, first and foremost, I will say, sorry for the background noise. When you're saying no to the narcissist, you are indeed saying yes to yourself. You're drawing a healthy boundary. But even if you stand your ground, you can't win an argument or debate with a narcissist. I made an entire video about that. Stop explaining yourself to the narcissist. But well, because it's true. You can't reason with these people. Even when you've done multiple favors for them, maybe you were a people pleaser, or you were too nice, or you didn't have your boundaries up high and mighty. That's why it's so important, that, you stand your ground and you stand by what you say. You don't be abrasive about it, but you remain calm, cool, and collected. And they can either take it or leave it. But what more often than not happens is that the narcissist will play the manipulative mind games with you, like gaslighting you, like, oh, you never help, even though you've been helping them. Or perhaps they'll be triangulating you with other people, like their exes. Oh, he's done this for me. He's actually been pretty helpful. Or, she does this for me. Why don't you? Things like that. Or they'll stonewall you, or they'll give you the silent treatment, or perhaps flake out and ghost forever entirely. The discard. Those are the 2 things that could possibly happen. You can either be discarded, or you can just stay in that toxic hellhole and continue to appease them to your own detriment. Quite pitiful. Now, what's the second thing on my list that comes to mind that the narcissists can't take or they hate? It's accountability. Think about all the times you said no to them, Like, you may have said something to the point, well, I have been helping you, I have been compassionate and reasonable, and I've tried to help things out with you. What's going on here? And they'll either say something like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way, instead of taking accountability and saying a genuine I'm sorry, or I'm sorry I made you feel that way. What can I say or do differently to help remedy the situation? But no. Or they'll just, they won't address what they're sorry for, even for that matter. Notice that. It's always just, it's a non-descriptive answer or response. It's not genuine. So they can't be held accountable. They never will be. Or at least they don't seem to hold themselves accountable for anything, which brings me to my next point, consequences. They don't realize that, not always taking accountability for everything can lead to dire consequences. Maybe the loss of a relationship. And if they ever come crawling back to you, which, they may or may not, but don't accept the Hoover, but the consequences of their actions, they're either stuck with that same ex again, or with a new source of supply, or perhaps they're not having it as well as when they had it with you, for instance, or for anyone else for that matter. But or perhaps they wasted away their younger years. That's why they missed it so much, because they were fed a silver spoon in their mouths. They were spoon-fed their whole lives. They don't know what tough times look like. They haven't experienced the dark night of the soul or anything like that. None of that. So they just think that they can get away and be coddled day in and night out. You being on call, you being a yes person and an empath 24/7, 365 days a year, it's never enough for the narcissist. But if you send a text in the span of 2 days, or 2 texts in like a week, like you're somehow like too clingy, they'll gaslight you into making you think that, you know, you're the needy one when you're not. But I digress. This brings me to my next point. Empathy. They can't ever be empathetic with you. They can't ever see it from your point of view. They can't ever live your life for a day, perhaps, in your shoes, or during that time when you were in that dark period. No. They can't empathize with you, or anyone for that matter. That's why they're narcissists. And that's, you know, as I was saying with consequences, they often reap what they sow. It's not always, it doesn't give me any great pleasure in saying that, but it's true. If they don't take accountability, you know, actions lead to consequences, and this is the end result. But empathy, they fake love. They'll pretend to be, you know, they'll experience a point at which the narcissist will stop showing you empathy. They'll stop showing you love, you know, after that golden period, obviously. But when you're in the evaluation stage I'm referring to specifically, the narcissist will, you know, will brush off your concerns or someone else's concerns, maybe your own family, like, oh, I told you he'd be okay. Be aggressive, or passive aggressive, I should say, with that. Yeah, they can't be empathetic with you or anyone for that matter. Now for my final point, truthfulness and transparency, which kind of coincide with each other. So let's go with honesty or truthfulness. They'll never be truthful with you, or anyone for that matter. Never. They always have a new source, a so-called new source or a recycled source on their phone. There's always someone, it's just a friend, wink wink, lurking in the distance, in the background somewhere, or that jealous ex who wants to hoover his narcissistic spouse back, but, or that narcissistic wife, whoever. But yeah, they'll never be truthful or transparent with you. That they'll always claim that they're alone and that they're single, that, you know, it's always just a friend. That's not true. That's just one example. They'll also, you know, like I was talking about with financial abuse, like when they were, or that you were doing their favors for them, like, you know, helping them out with money's favors and deeds, etc., you know. They don't appreciate it for that matter, you know. They just take it and run. They take the money and then run. But with truthfulness and transparency, don't expect any closure from them. When you hold their feet to the fire, when you hold them accountable. Now, as I've said, you remain cool, calm, collected, but, you know, don't expect, you know, them to fess up always. Or if they pretend to, it's just a facade. They're just sorry that they got caught. Okay? they're disloyal to you, or if you find out that they're being disloyal to you, or they don't have your best interest at heart, whatever the case may be. They'll just never be truthful with you, nor can they be with the new source of supply, or anyone for that matter. So I just want to wrap it up at that, guys. I appreciate it, you being here and listening to what I have to say. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. This is Mike. I love you all. God bless. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.